one of the stories that I wanted to come across that I actually mentioned to Sian was the one about, it's an Asian lunch club. And this was it's a group that we knew quite well, and they kind of realised that a lot of their elder people needed somewhere to meet. And so they started off by saying, look, can we sort of just kind of try it off as an experiment? And what we want to do, we want to get somebody to come in, to get fresh vegetables, make a freshly cooked meal, and then maybe have some Asian music. They actually have Asian karaoke, and there's all sorts of things. They had people coming in doing armchair aerobics, and that's been working for about the last 2 years, and that's worked really, really well. And it's got this community, this Hindu community coming in. But that's actually started to have the networking thing started, because they started saying, well, actually, what we'd really like to do is we'd like to be able to grow some of our fresh vegetables, but we don't really have the facilities to do that. Well, we happened to come across somebody called Helen, who works at a project up in Evington, and she's got a community allotment. That happens to be about 3 minutes from our centre, so up the Coleman Road. And the city council had actually just donated to them this great big polytunnel. Now, at the moment, they were actually using this as a classroom, but actually what we were finding is that it was perfect for growing Asian vegetables. So a lot of our Asian ladies, they describe themselves as swallows. They, at the end of December or end of November, they go back to India, and they stay there till probably the end of February, and then they come back. So when they came back, they were all bringing packets of seeds with them. So they were sort of saying, okay, we can kind of get involved with this allotment kind of project. Helen was saying, this is really good because the Asian ladies are showing us how to grow these plants the way that they were done when they were children. So they were teaching the Evington community how to grow Asian vegetables. And then they were the idea being that they could go up to the allotment, pick the things fresh, come down to St. Chad's Hall and cook them within the 10 minutes of picking them. I mean, how good is that? I mean, and there's no overall cost in it. It's just the goodwill of the communities. So this group's got really, really well established. But then one day they actually they came in one evening and they realised that our security lights weren't working on the outside. Now, we're in a part of an Evington where if you've got a car park and it's not really well lit, you can get uninvited visitors getting up to all sorts of things. So the person who runs this guy called Suresh, turned around and goes, what about if we get an engineer? We've got somebody in our community who is very good at electronics. He's going to look at it, see if he can fix it. So I said, okay, that's fine, I can have a look at it. So they come down. The next thing we know, this community has actually bought brand new lights around our centre. And they explained it and said that they had seen the children coming out of the madrasa at night in a dark place, and they wanted those children to be safe. So this is the Hindu group, wanted to make sure that a Muslim group is safe. So they're also saying they wanted to make sure that when I was locking up at night that I was safe. So this is that goodwill that's going around, and I'm thinking that this is just God moving. This is just this. In theory, this shouldn't work, but it is working so well. So we have these points where we have groups that use our centre, and they'll help us to maintain the building. They'll help us to keep everybody safe. It's brilliant. One of the other things we've had is we've had Eid, we've just recently had Eid and stuff. The madrasa group, they've actually done things like they've built some cupboards, didn't they, a couple of years ago, actually, some storage cupboards. So they had the storage cupboards, so there was that. They've helped paint the doors. Admittedly, they did them in green, but that's a good colour for them. They like the colour green. So they've helped us do that. So that's been brilliant. So we've had a Muslim community are actually helping us to maintain our building. There's just so many different projects all interacting and stuff and interacting with each other, and it's just such a joy. It's such a joy to be there. I think this is exactly what we need to be doing. It's multi-faith engagement at its very, very best.